Hey, I'm Chris. So Trump keeps blurring the line between the military and law enforcement, and the latest is these strikes on boats that are suspected of being involved in drug trafficking. If there is a bedrock core of the American system of law, it's that the government can't just decide that someone's guilty and then punish them. That goes back to one of the basic reasons that the country was founded. That's one of the reasons why courts exist. But that's exactly what we're doing. As of October 24th, there are 10 publicly acknowledged strikes on boats in the water. Trump's embarrassing self-parody of a Secretary of Defense says that those boats were, quote, known by our intelligence to be involved in drug smuggling. So Trump says that we are in an armed conflict with enemy combatants. But that's not how being a superpower works. Being a superpower means that we have the military capacity to annihilate anyone, anywhere. That's different from law enforcement. In reality, the military can't and shouldn't target civilians who aren't actively involved in hostilities, including people who are suspected of committing a crime. It would be illegal for a cop to summarily kill someone that he suspects of being involved in drug smuggling, because drug smuggling isn't a crime that carries the death penalty, and because the government hasn't proven that the person was involved in drug smuggling. The biggest tell that this is bullshit is that we repatriated the survivors. On October 16th, the Navy blew up a boat, killed some people on board, and then apparently rescued 2 survivors. Trump ultimately decided to repatriate them. He let them go. If these are terrorists, why'd we let them go? Trump said they were terrorists who were en route to poison Americans. And we let them go because we have no evidence that they were actually involved in drug smuggling. One of them won't be prosecuted because there's no evidence. Before you tell me, Chris, this was happening in international waters. It's all international waters. First of all, no, because Trump says that he's including land strikes as part of this campaign. So they're not just keeping it in the water. The second is the problem I have is how he unilaterally decided that these people were guilty of something and deserve to be killed. This made me think about in the United States, there are a bunch of states where it's legal to buy and sell marijuana, which is illegal at the federal level. So what if a future President Newsom just declared all of the red state marijuana dealers are part of some cartel? And he went in and he unilaterally executed all of them or rounded them up or something. That would be absurd, obviously, because that's not how we prosecute crimes. This is not a military invasion response. Trump doesn't say we're being invaded by troops. He says they're bringing drugs that poison Americans. So a quick factual aside, in America, 71% of drug overdose deaths are deaths of men. So men experience and face this acutely. But the sad fact is that most drug overdoses are caused by fentanyl, which comes from labs in Mexico. South America produces cocaine. This is not about responding to some military operation. This is about law enforcement in the water off the coast. But drug enforcement isn't the point either. If they had evidence, they would show evidence. The other thing is entirely illogical. You're telling me that blowing up little tiny bitty one-off boats is your big grand anti-drug strategy? That's absurd. It's not an anti-drug strategy. I mean, it happens that we have a Secretary of State who spent his entire career really upset about Nicolas Maduro, and now he has a chance to use U.S. military might against Maduro. And so we've got reasons to go for Venezuelans. I think at bottom, this is pretty clearly just continued militarization of law enforcement. Trump views the military as an extension of his will, just like he views the government as an extension of his will. In reality, though, in America, law enforcement is kept separate from the executive's will on purpose. One of the reasons the country was founded is because we didn't want kings deciding someone was guilty and punishing them without having courts and independent, objective fact finders prove it. You should care about this because the president is asserting the ability to declare that someone deserves to be murdered and then killing them without providing any kind of justification. Maybe they're innocent, maybe they're not. No way to know because the government is deciding unilaterally without giving any evidence. That's not how the American system works. Thank you for watching. I'm Chris with How to Politics.